Okay, so before doing this together, I said I will come back to logic operator. X is greater than Y, right? Or I can say and X is less than Y. So this is logic operator. So logic operator always return true or false. That's why it's logical, as you study in a logical AND or GET. So for instance, here I say that X is greater than Y. It's true that X is greater than Y. This one, it is what? It is false, right? Because X is not greater than Y. But is X less than Y? This one is true because X is greater than Y. But when I'm using AND operator will provide a true result only if both comparison operation or operand are what? Are true. But in my case, the very first one is false. So there is no need to look on the right one. So the left hand if is false, I don't have to look on the right hand if I'm using what? I'm using AND. So this will result into false. Why? Because it is already false at the very first time. So like this, it is what? It is false. But if I'm using or will return true always if any of operand is what? Is true. So this one return it true. Why? Because it is true that X is less than what? Less than Y. So let's do our example. So our activity say that we need to ask user to input two number. The program should then perform the following operation. So two number, our number is already X and Y, right? But user required to input this number. So how can we make a user to input a number? We can make a user to input number using an input keyword. So I can say enter first number. Here I can say enter or input second number. But what kind of number? I want them to input any kind of number, be it integer or be it what? A decimal number. So I will convert any number into a float, right? Can do something like this, to a float. Then I have told to do the addition, which will be equal to X plus Y, subtraction, which will be X minus Y. It is enough. You can complete it by yourself, right? Make it the task. So you can do for multiplication, you can do for division, right? Yeah. It is subtraction. Yeah. So let's print this. So I can print this one like this for addition. I can copy and paste and then do for subtraction like this. So if I'm running this file, I've been told to write the first number, make it 56, second number, make it 108. So addition is 164 and this one should be subtraction. So addition is, let me write the number 45, 105. So addition is 150 and subtraction is minus 60. Why? because I'm subtracting x, which is 45, to y, which is 105, whereby I get a minus. Right? So you can do it for multiplication, which will be equal to x times what? X times y. Then I can just print it here. Multiplication, when I call it, will be, we'll just make it 10, 5. So it'll be 50, right? Yeah, so you can do for other kind of what? Other kind of operation. So the next one is control structure. What does it mean, control structure? Control structure in Python are used to control the flow of program. They help in making decision, repeating action, and managing coding execution based on different conditions. Python supports different kind of control structure, which are conditional statement, which include if, else, if, and else, which have this kind of syntax: if, condition. If you have more than one condition, we can use elif, which means else if, which means that if the first condition doesn't meet, then check the second condition. If anything, first condition doesn't meet, the second condition doesn't meet, then we have a default one, which is else. This means that any code that is in else block will be executed if none of the first condition and second condition block doesn't executed. So this is an example. I have an age variable which is 18. If age is less than 18, then I can print you a minor. If the age is equal to 18, I can print you exactly 18. Otherwise, else I can print you are an adult, right? So that is control structure. So let's see an example of control structure. So in control structure, I can say something like this. If x is greater than y, I have x, right? So let me do something like this. Let me delete this. If x is greater than y, what I want to say? I want to say it is great. Also, I want to say else if x is equal to y, I want to print what? I want to print it is equal. Otherwise, I want to say it is less than. It is less. So this will depend on what? This one will depend on what I will provide. So maybe I provide the first number at 34, then I will provide the second number as 45. This will print what? It is less. Why? Because the first condition we check x is greater than y, it is false. Why? Because my first number is 34 and second number is 45. So this one doesn't get executed. Same for the second one, doesn't get executed because there is no way 34 is greater than is equal to 45. So it's just executes the default one. So this one doesn't get executed, this one doesn't get executed, then it's check for else. It says else block, then execute the else block. But if I'm saying something like this, x is 100, y is 34, it executes what? It is great. Why? Because x is greater than y. So my code block will return here. So x greater than y, then it will execute and go away. So this one will not be get readed, and also this one. So that is about if else statement or conditional statement. So let's see loop. What is loop? Loop is a way for iterating over and over something, right? Yeah. So let's take an example. I have this variable called the fruit, which is store apple, banana, and cherry. If I want to print this one in one, I can loop over this. So I can loop over fruit, and first one I will show apple, banana, then I will show cherry. So this is an array of what? Array of fruits, which include apple, banana, and cherry. So we can check this one like this. So I can say I have fruits, right? Or maybe I can say I have numbers. So numbers which I have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 45, 67. I can loop over this number. I can loop over this number. How? I can say for number in what? In numbers, right? For number in numbers, what I want to say, I want to print number. Like that. Okay. So it print what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 45, and what? And 60 and 67. You can do the same for a while loop. So the while loop has a syntax like this. While, then you put a condition, it will check for the condition, then you can perform different iteration based on the condition. After that, you need to either increment or decrement in order to know it perform what kind of condition. So for instance, I have a count variable which is equal to 1. Then I'm saying while count is less than or equal to 5, print count. Then count, I increment it by 1. So what does this do? This will do the following. First, it will check is count is equal to 1, right? So I will replace count with 1. So 1 is less than or equal to 5. This one is false, right? 1 is less than or equal to 5. Okay, oh, it is true. 1 is less than 5. So it will print count. So what is count now? Count is 1. After that, it say count is equal to count plus 1. Remember that? So it is just like count is equal to count plus 1. So now my count is 2. So now count is not 1. It go to the memory location where we store this count, and now it is 2. So we'll check 2 is less than or equal to 5. It is true. Then it will print count. What is count now? Count is 2. So it go until 5. We'll check 5 is less than or equal to 5. It is true. 5 is not less than 5, but it is equal to 5. So this is true. It will also print what? Print 5. But when it go up to 6, it will check 6 is less than or equal to 5, which is false. Then our loop will end up here. So this one will print what? 1 to 5. So like this. So let's say count is equal to 1, right? So I can say while count is less than or equal to 5, what I want to do, I need to print what? I need to print count. I need to print count. But also I need to increment my what? I need to increment my count. How can I increment my count? I can increment my count by count is equal to what? It's equal to 1 here. Something like this. Yeah, so something like this. So I can delete this one. This one should be starting. So count plus is equal to 1. Or I can say count is equal to count plus count. So something like this. So this one print 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So this is while loop. Okay, so activity 2, it says that write a Python program that takes a user to enter their age. The program should then determine if the person is minor, an adult, or senior citizen based on the following criteria. So minor age is less than 18, adult age is between 18 and 60, senior citizen age is greater than 60. The program should print the appropriate category based on the user's age. So pause the video and perform this activity. Okay, so hopefully you have performed the activity very well. So congratulations. Okay, so this marks the end of this lesson. See you in the next lesson on the continuation of our programming language basics based on the Python. Thank you and see you later.